Hey guys, so this week's video is different and hopefully fun and interesting to watch. I'm going to be comparing two microphones, a cheap mic against a relatively expensive mic. And so I'm going to quickly show you what they are. So this is the Neewer or Newer microphone. I'm sorry if it's newer, I'm going to say Newer because that's how it's written. Let's see what comes in the box. Information sheet, a pop filter that you can put on the microphone, a shock mount, and finally the microphone itself. This is the Neewer NW-800. I bought this microphone from Amazon when I was in Canada for 14 Canadian dollars, which was approximately 10 or 11 US dollars, which is extremely cheap for a microphone. And ever since I bought it, I've wanted to do this video. And I'm going to be comparing it to my Rode NT2A. I also bought this Rode in Canada and I bought it second-hand, but I searched for the price and it goes for 400 US dollars. So we're comparing a $10 microphone to a $400 microphone on bass, drums, guitar, and vocals. Both these microphones are condenser microphones in case you wanted to know that information. I'm a big believer in gear doesn't matter, and all that matters is your music writing and how you perform. And if you do those well, you will succeed and it will sound good. So let's put that thought to the test. I'm going to try to put these mics in the exact same positions for every instrument so that we're recording the exact same thing. Both of these microphones are going through the exact same sound cards. So for the drums, I'm using my Scarlett 18i20. And for the bass, guitars, and vocals, I'm using my Behringer Euphoria UMC22. So I wrote like a really short song to test out these instruments and try not to cringe too much. Before I start, I just want to mention I'm not going to be filtering any recording. I'm not going to be using any plugins, any effects, anything at all. You're going to hear 100% raw recordings of both these microphones so that we can have a fair comparison. Let's start with the drum recording. So here is the microphone positioning for the drums for both microphones. And so I tried to aim them at the exact same spot, which is around here, so that it kind of captures everything, like it's in the middle of the whole drum set. And if I had a bigger room and I had space in front of the drum set, it's definitely where I would have put them because I'd get such a nicer sound from basically everything, especially the kick. Next, we're going to do the bass recording. Now let's record guitars. Finally, let's record vocals. Testing out these microphones. Which mic is better? And does price matter at all, or is it all a myth? Microphones make my head spin. Round and round it goes. Microphones are the best thing to happen to us all. All the audio you just heard was raw. Now that we've heard how every microphone performs on every instrument individually, let's hear them all together. So when I was recording the drums, I had to place the microphones around here, which caused me to not get enough bass drum. Ideally, I would have put the microphones low and in front of the drum set so I can really have that punchy kick sound, but there's no more room behind me. So I'm very exceptionally going to raise the low frequencies of both drum recordings. That way I can have some low kick sound, and that way the song is more enjoyable. Testing out these microphones. Which mic is better? And does price matter at all, or is it all a myth? Microphones make my head spin. Round and round it goes. Microphones are the best thing to happen to us all. Okay, so we're done with the audio tests and you've heard the results. So, what do I think about this microphone? I think it does not sound good, but it can sound amazing for an effect. There are no lows and there are no highs, and it's just full of mid-frequency. So it sounds kind of like an old radio, and you can stress on that effect even more by like filtering some more. And it can give a great result if you want to record that sound, if you want that effect. Other than that, I think you can record it for like demos that you want for yourself, but nothing at all at the level of releasing anything. Again, except if you're aiming for that effect. It performed really badly on the drums, performed kind of okay on the bass, it performed kind of okay on the guitar, and performed kind of okay on the vocals. Maybe I'm being nice. So if I was on an extremely tight budget and I had no other mic at all, I would use this. But anyway, it only costs $10 and it's a cool effect. So if I ever want to sound like an old radio. So the Rode was amazing on every instrument. I love how bright it is. I love how crisp it sounds. The Rode's build is really nice. It's really heavy. The Neewer's build is okay. It's lighter than the Rode by far, but it's heavier than it looks. So now that we've done all that, I'm going to fix the Neewer sound just a little bit with only EQs, because actually anyone who buys this microphone isn't just going to leave the audio raw. So I'm only going to add an EQ to this, just to make it sound a little more normal. And after I try adding that EQ, I'll be able to answer the question of this video, which is, does gear matter? Does price matter? So here's the song, through the Neewer, with some EQing to make it sound better. Testing out these microphones. Which one is better? And does price matter at all, or is it all a myth? Microphones make my head spin. Round and round it goes. Microphones are the best thing to happen to us all. So finally, to answer the question of this video, does gear matter and does price matter? As much as I hate to admit it, I think these two proved that price does matter and gear does matter. But to a certain extent, let me explain. This is a $10 microphone, so it's extremely cheap. Like, I'm comparing the lowest extreme. But if I'm comparing this microphone to, let's say, a $10,000 microphone, of course the $10,000 microphone is going to sound much better, but it doesn't mean that I can't release music with this. And I think this microphones category goes down to like $100 microphones. Like everything starting $100 to $150 microphones. I think they're very decent microphones where if you record with them, they'll give you a pretty decent result that you can release to everyone. Not this one, because this is an extreme. This is $10. Does gear matter and does price matter? Gear helps and price helps. In the end, who's to tell you whether or not you can or can't release anything with this? If you want to, you can, and it'll sound special, I guess. What I'm trying to say is that you don't need to destroy your wallet to release music. I'm not saying go for the $10 option. You can, you can. Like, you can make it sound better than I did. What I did was very minimal. But I mean, if you have the budget for a $100 microphone, don't kill yourself to go buy a $1,000 microphone, because it'll give you a decent result. And the important thing is that you're sharing your music with the world and you're sharing your talent, and no one's gonna be like, he recorded on a $100 microphone but it sounds decent, I'm still not listening. They're gonna be like, oh wow, he was able to get that result on a budget, which is impressive. So would I recommend this? Not really, unless you're on an extremely tight budget. $10 will do the job, you can EQ it, it'll sound more or less decent, I guess. But what I would confidently recommend is all the microphones in this microphones category, everything between $200 and $600. They'll give you a really great result, a really clean result, and I think that when you go up to the $1,000 microphones and the $10,000 microphones, you're aiming for the microphone's characteristics more than how usable the audio is. You can use $100 audio with no problem. So here you go, that's my opinion on these two microphones, that's my opinion on gear and price, and whether or not you need expensive equipment to release your music. I don't think so. I think you can manage to release music on a budget. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think about gear and equipment and music and price and all of that. If you made it up to this point in the video, thank you, that's great. I hope I can make more comparison videos in the future because this was really fun to make. And as usual, it'll be very helpful if you like, comment, subscribe and share. And thanks for watching.